Today I want to talk to you about how to use generative artificial intelligence in manufacturing. So how generative artificial intelligence can help you not only optimize your processes, but also distance yourself from the competition. Today, generative artificial intelligence is a factor of competitiveness in the market. For reasons of time, I will touch on 3 categories of intervention, but if you are interested in further deepening, I invite you to contact us. Prior to commencing, I would like to remind you that generative AI is significantly distinct from the AI we have become accustomed to observing in the preceding years. If you've already implemented AI in the past, it's highly likely that you've implemented deep learning or machine learning algorithms. Generative artificial intelligence has capabilities that are different, and precisely because it has intrinsic and different characteristics, it enables use cases that are very different from those of deep learning. Today I will talk to you about how generative artificial intelligence can impact, for example, innovation within manufacturing. I will then talk about how generative can help you build the factory of the future in the present, a smart factory capable of talking to all the staff. If you are a company director, a manager, or an entrepreneur, you will surely know how difficult it is today to find trained and competent staff. Talents are becoming increasingly rare, and it is very difficult to hire them. So talking about smart factory is really essential because it means being able to rely a little less on the skills of the staff, making the machinery intelligent and capable of speaking natural language, for example, and bringing to life all the data and knowledge of the company through an internal assistant. The third point I want to touch on is the impact of generative artificial intelligence on planning and decision making. Allow me first a distinction between what we can call product design and instead research and development. The generative artificial intelligence, unlike the artificial intelligence to which you may have been accustomed in previous years, is capable of qualitative analysis of data, not only quantitative, and is also capable of great creativity. When we talk about creativity, some people are still quite skeptical, so I want to remind you that just recently, an architecture based on generative artificial intelligence managed to find new solutions to a mathematical research problem known as the CAPSET problem. She was able to find original, unique, creative solutions. And it is precisely this ability to produce original and creative solutions that can really make a difference in product design. Generative AI can therefore take the form of an internal assistant capable of generating different design iterations, so many alternatives that match the requirements and constraints predefined by you, and that can therefore support you in defining definitive solutions. To provide a more tangible example, consider a platform, perhaps for internal use, where users can interact through a chat or by setting specific parameters and constraints. This platform, powered by generative artificial intelligence, has the capability to automatically generate a varying number of reports in natural language, such as 5, 10, 20, 100, or even 1000. Each report within this platform contains proposed product design solutions from the assistant. You can also anticipate that these reports will be completed precisely according to your preferences. Perhaps you desire to adhere to a specific structure within the report, such as having pre-existing alternative product design options based on already known designs. Maybe you want this information to be included in the report, or maybe you are interested that artificial intelligence inside each report. I also explain what is the creative process you have followed to arrive at that solution, so as to allow you maybe to grasp some ideas that would have escaped you. As you may have guessed, generative artificial intelligence can also be applied to research and development. Even the design product, you could say, is part of R&D area. But here things get even more interesting. As you may have read, generative artificial intelligence is based on these models called large language models, which are normally trained on enormous amounts of data. For example, the OpenAI model is said to have been trained on about 2/3 of the entire web. I would also like to make sure that you know that today you are no longer dependent on the service technology of OpenAI or Google. Today there are completely free open source versions, which means accessible to everyone, to you, to me, to anyone, completely free of charge for these models. There are large language models, so these large language models, which have already been pre-trained by other organizations, which have invested millions of dollars to be able to do these trainings, and these models are now available online, both from an algorithmic and code perspective and from a data perspective that has been used to train them. Why am I making this premise to you? Because for research and development, these models can really be a Trojan horse. For example, you can take one of these models and with a few thousand euros, make it absorb all the specific knowledge of your sector, all the scientific publications or documentation, the guidelines, the regulations that concern your sector, your technology, your products. Once we have assimilated all this knowledge into these large language models, we can also shape their behavior to become research and development assistants, thereby facilitating interactions that actively contribute to supporting the research and development staff in their work. To be even more specific, as in the case of proto-design, here also the research and development assistant could, for instance, create detailed reports that could provide explanations on the optimal execution of the production process for one of your products. Having ingested all the knowledge, not only internal, all the solutions developed in the past, all the tests also done in the past by your company, all the knowledge maybe of the staff, but also having read all the scientific publications in your sector, having ingested books, regulations, and other things that you may have collected over the years or that you want to collect specifically for the learning process, it is clear that your generative artificial intelligence assistant will be truly superhuman, both in its knowledge of your sector, your technology, your products, but also in its ability to guide your research and development. Moreover, I desire the concept to be exceedingly clear that these algorithms have the capability to be packaged within custom architectures that are based on the precise business need. So you can also condition the type of interaction, the format of the output, for example, of these models. You can go to predefine exactly how you would like the output to be formatted, how long it should be, what elements it should contain, so that it is really of maximum usefulness within your business research and development processes. There would still be a lot to say, but time is short, so I will move on to the second point. I mentioned the concept of a factory that comes to life, and by this I mean the machinery, but also the intrinsic knowledge of the factory. For example, generative artificial intelligence, these large language models, can be integrated into machinery. And be cautious, this is something you can achieve within your factory. You do not need your suppliers to carry it out. Moreover, in terms of machinery and hardware, you don't need to take any action whatsoever. Generative AI can function as a module that is installed on top of the data generated by all your machinery within your facility, allowing you to instantly bring all your machinery to life and maximize its potential. It almost feels like a science fiction movie, especially when we think that the cost of these upgrades is absolutely negligible. These large language models are available both for a fee in the form of a license, therefore in their closed source versions, meaning closed, for which you pay a license, but they are also available in open versions, on which you don't even pay the license, that you can integrate and fully control. And in the event that privacy or security concerns you, please be aware that these models can now be executed directly on site, without even accessing the cloud infrastructure. I will restate it. You must have a wide range of choices. You have the option to use third-party licenses with cloud solutions, or employ open models within your cloud architecture. Alternatively, you can choose to keep these models within your on-premises servers without accessing the internet, ensuring they remain offline and inaccessible. But what does it mean that your machines come to life and become intelligent? First of all, it means that all your machinery is capable of self-diagnosis. They can communicate with all your staff in natural language, just like I am doing now. To chat, either through a web interface, or on a chat via WhatsApp, or on Telegram, or on a mobile app that you want to make available within the facility. And so the machines become capable of planning, they become truly intelligent, they become capable, for example, of providing reports on the maintenance status. What could be the optimal maintenance schedule for that machinery? Too much could say the machine itself. Why not? Maybe you're interested in an analysis, a report on the energy usage of that machinery. You would not need anything at all. Simply ask, please show me a report on your energy consumption for the previous week, and the machine would generate that report for you. If you've watched this video up to now, you'll know that you can also predefine the format of these reports to contain the elements you consider appropriate. However, I remind you that we're dealing with generative AI, thus an intelligence capable of communicating with you. No need to predefine everything, just chat and ask. Please inform me if there's a correlation between this data and that other data. The machine will be able to answer you. These are not expensive upgrades because today the technology is available. A tech capable of speaking to you in natural language, performing analysis, using external tools, connecting with all your internal management systems, your databases, capable of using programming tools for independent analysis. The machinery could connect directly with its user manual, so when there is a malfunction or a breakdown and the staff may not know how to solve it, they could chat directly with the machinery and ask it how to solve this problem. The machinery, in an intelligent way, can then produce an on-demand tutorial instantly to solve the problem, using its user manuals as support, but also the knowledge that can be ingested about internal procedures, guidelines, and everything you deem appropriate for the proper functioning of your facility. But it's not just the machinery that comes to life. Even intrinsic and internal knowledge can come to life. All solutions developed in the past, the history, production data, everything that can come to life, everything that can be ingested by an assistant powered by these powerful algorithms, made available through a mobile application, through a chat, through a corporate platform, through the management system, a website. What is best for all staff who can interact with us in natural language? And let's not forget that these models have become multimodal. It means having the capability to process not just textual forms, but also, for instance, images. So all your staff, when, for example, they don't know how to solve a problem, can simply take a photo with their phone and send it to the internal assistant who will tell them how to solve the problem. Why is this photo light appearing to me? And the assistant will be able to use all the knowledge of the past to help your staff find a solution. It's tough, I guess, to train the staff within the facility. This assistant can be the coach to train all staff. I guarantee that currently these models can attain a technical understanding of the subject surpassing any human. None of us can think of measuring ourselves from a technical perspective with a twisted architecture of generative AI. All this intelligence and computational power can be made accessible to all operators in the plant and utilized to distill those drops of knowledge precisely when they are needed in an extremely efficient and speedy manner. You don't need to read a whole manual, waste time, when all you have to do is ask the assistant and get the answer on how to use that machine, how to solve that problem, or when the next maintenance should be done and why. To have detailed reports, analysis, correlations, all of this, I remind you, without needing to intervene on the hardware, because the generative is a module that can run directly on the data that is already collected. Finally, but not least, I want to talk to you about planning and decision making within production processes. But before doing so, I also want to remind you that if you're interested in delving into these topics and understanding how generative AI can be applied within your industrial context, our approach of the transformation wheel is right for you. I leave you a link in the description of this video that I invite you to explore. I'm sure you'll be really impressed. We've reached the third category, decision-making planning. At the end of this point, I'll still add technical and technological insights I hope will make you reflect. You can use generative artificial intelligence by applying it to planning, not only production, but also to purchasing and logistics planning. Generative AI can perform qualitative and quantitative analysis, creating authentic scenarios for you with its advanced capabilities. You can apply the principles of cause and effect to create evolving scenarios over time. It can support you by automatically and semi-automatically creating reports that show you the results of different productive and alternative scenarios. What could happen if I make this choice or if I make another one? The generative could show you qualitatively and quantitatively future scenarios, helping you in optimal planning. An assistant can do it, capable of interacting with you. If you are not satisfied with what is proposed to you, you can interact and ask for changes. It can become a support for your brainstorming. You can reason with him, reason about different scenarios, ask for information and insights that help you draw original conclusions. The intelligence of this assistant can ingest a lot of data to create these scenarios and plans. Not only orders, not only the status of your warehouses, not only information about the past and the future, market conditions, alternative data. Furthermore, planning is not limited only to production scenarios or resource allocation, but this intelligence can also be used for energy efficiency or process optimization. For instance, if your R&D is focused on streamlining the production process, it can aid you by generating numerous alternative scenarios for process optimization, assisting you in gradually enhancing. These assistants can be set to be scalable and interactive. They can start an exchange with you, leading me to always find better solutions, more accurate over time. Also give extra directions. Expand AI knowledge, not only internal corporate knowledge, but also external knowledge. Scientific publications, articles, newspapers, books, guidelines, regulations. Integrate knowledge in different forms. Text, tables, structured data, and images, not limited to text alone. I'm waiting for you if you are eager to delve into one of our discovery workshops, brainstorming, which I remember are completely free. And I thank you as always for watching this video.